Hello, I'm Ananassa, and today I'm going to be covering Strawberry's dtide. So I might be on her account. I heard Wave 3 got reset because she was trying a poison clear and it didn't work. But yeah. Let's just briefly go over the waves. This is Wave 1, this is just calf. I would not recommend this, but you can play it, I suppose. I think it discards your hand at some point. This is Wave 2, Pollux Arachne. I'll get more into it later. But yeah, this is Wave 4. Wave 5 is also Muchet. And Wave 3 is the Lemurians. So yeah, pretty normal stuff. Let's go into Wave 1. So Wave 1 you can see I have Calf with a team. Tint is actually kinda nice here because, well, I mean it depends on your definition of nice. Because the boss does inflict frail and weak almost every single turn. And she does dispel it, but you also just get the debuffs back. And for me it matters less because I'm a whale. And I just block enough, but yeah, it does kind of matter. We have Spatial Deflector Plus. It's really good. It's so much uptime on both weak and vulnerable. This is plus blood, 147 HP. Also a really broken relic. Just to heal every single turn. In the tank calf comp. You can see damage. I didn't do that much until the very last turn. I don't really know how to feel about that. The difference is that the last turn I had a bunch of crit buffs, and when your Hyper Flare crits and you have a lot of crit damage, that's a lot more damage. But yeah, we'll get into it. So as you can see, this is pretty reasonable setup. You can see I did not annihilate here, but I should annihilate. I should annihilate for more spatial deflector stacks, but it doesn't matter too much. I think I can block this, so I'm just climate exalting for some alien, for some like, I think it's alien or key flare. I forget which is which, but if you go into Ultra turn with climate exalt active, it'll remove the stacks and it'll give you a different buff instead. One of the annoying things about this fight is this communicator staff. For every non-command card played, gain 35 strength and 22k shield. The big part of it is strength. So every time I'm playing a card, every time I play an insight, it gains strength. It's really well, it manages to be fine for me, but yeah, it's just annoying. Oh, you can also see this. I have Defense Orison on the Cast Defend card. I think it wanted me to put the Bastion Orison in exchange for a symptom, and the symptom was weakness. So I was just taking it because I don't mind having an extra source of weakness, and also, you know, it hit a cap card. That's just called being skilled. That card being significant because you can pull it back. Well, I don't know if it's only first play, but you know, they're a lot more accessible than any other card. Yeah, I played the Insight, and now it has 200 strength. How could this be? I will comment a bit about Calf. Because I've done some thinking about how she works. Okay, obviously this is a weird hand, but what can you do? What can you do? It's a bit weird because I keep getting, like, I get insights sometimes, and I'm incentivized to not use insights because it increases the mob's damage cycle by, like, you know, around like 27 per card if you have permanent weakness, or like 27 per attack. And it also does a multi-hit at some point. Yeah, so something like this. You see how it has 200, now it has 300 strength? Because it has 300 strength, it's plus 600 damage, which is plus 450 damage. So the strength really does add up. And I play another insight. I don't know what you're exactly supposed to do for feeding them insights or feeding them strength. I don't really have an answer. Just tank everything. That's it. Yeah. You can see my hand got discarded. About the Daiwa bombs, they don't really matter too much if they're not the number 1, because that's where most of my calf cards are at. And you know, to discard a 1 cost, it only costs 1 Arif. So it's pretty cheap as well. I think if you're playing higher cost cards and you don't want to draw, it's kinda sussy. But yeah, you can see, this mob has 525 strength. Which is, by the way, plus 390 damage with weaken. Also, this also proves why Spatial Deflector is broken. Imagine if I was taking these intents and they didn't have weakness on them. Something bad would be happening. Something really bad would be happening. I'll yap a bit about Calf as well. So Calf, pretty much, you know, her flame stuff. I learned recently, her flames are attached to her rouse, her posse, and just her base kit. So base kit, it's 1 Fiamma on the card. Oh, of course Exalt. But yeah, base kit, 1 Exalt. Sorry. Base kit is 1 Fiamma on one of the cards you have. And of course the Fiamma transfer. If you play a card with Fiamma, it'll transfer 1 Fiamma to another card. That's one of the sources. The other source is of course, Calf Exalt applies 3 Fiamma or 5 Fiamma if you have Over Exalt. And of course the third source is her Posse. Okay, I use Posse this turn, but it's the thing that gives damage amp and draw and fetches the Calf card and puts Fiamma on it. So really, like between turns, you're getting about 2 Fiamma. Also Clement's broken, only. But yeah, between turns you're getting 2 Fiamma per turn. If you have space for it. So I feel like the biggest thing is using cards at 1 or 3 Fiamma. Because 3 Fiamma, yeah, you still transfer 1 Fiamma, but you have the card itself after it bounces. Which you can play for resources. So it's just a bunch of chilling. And it doesn't really, I feel like it doesn't matter. I mean, of course it matters a bit because you have more resources if you have more Calf cards in hand, but it doesn't matter too much exactly how many Calf cards you have in hand. The biggest things are, in terms of Fiamma maximizing, first of all, like drawing cards with Exalt and Posse, they do add a significant amount of Fiamma, or like add a significant amount of Calf resources at least. just because 1 and 3 Fiamma, yeah, just because like the card itself, you know, it's almost like 2 base Fiamma, and you're adding 3 Fiamma, up to 3 Fiamma to it. This is specifically in reference to how Soulforge makes Fiamma 50% of its value, which isn't exactly true because Hyperflare at max stacks is more, but yeah, it's just a bunch of sitting around. Also, you know, I took DR and now I'm at 1000 HP. But yeah, just a bunch of blocking. The Calf Orson, Hordeless dance. Is this really too big to fail? But yeah, you can see it has 600 strength. 600 strength is like plus 450 damage with weakness. And of course Clem applying debilitate damage and Inspire 2 fans. Minus 45%, it's basically debilitate for what it's worth. I mean debilitate weakness. Like on top of regular weakness, there's debilitate weakness. Holy Clem. But yeah, I mean, I would not recommend this. I'm allowed to do it because I have very broken supports. And my calf is level 80. And I have Blessed Blood. Only I'm at 1200 HP. I mean, this is just the... Usually I just like F on the early wave because I think my other teams are way too powerful. And I was like, you know, it's like the one thing I need to test. Like, Luchet, it probably already passes. G Murphy Wave 3, it probably already passes. Relics, it probably passes. As long as I get my setup. So yeah. Bunch of resources. I think this is where I go in. Because I'm like, I'm already blocking. Why don't I go in? So I have 15 stacks. So on top of vulnerable, Clem gives me another vulnerable. Plus 45% damage. And I have a setup on her so she gets a lot of aliens. Of course, like her route is part of it, but yeah. We're just going to launch a Hyper Flare and it's gonna be alright. Hyper Flare. This is just how the comp works, I suppose. Don't really have much other to add than that. You can see Blessed Blood went in, the Spatial Deflector went in, Being a Whale went in, Holy Horla, Horla Clementine. This thing, it gives me 15 alien myths per turn. It's a really nice wheel. This is gonna be wave 2. About the so you can see I'm running Sorrel wheel. I would highly recommend this. It increases your damage by like 20 something %. Even if you have Blade of Titan. If you don't have Blade of... Like, it depends on your crit damage, how much it buffs it. But, yeah. It's really strong buff, 80% crit damage. There's not much to talk about. I picked up this Alfonso because it's not the worst thing in the world and it, you know, it gives you resources. Like Alfonso, the thing about Alfonso that's weird with this comp is that sometimes, especially if you want to go through phase 2, you'll set up a 3-turn thing and you'll want a lot of Sacred Hearts so you have more Sin Mark stacks in order to apply more bleed for the second phase. That all is important, but the thing is, if you're not going for the bleed on second phase, well, first of all, you don't need this. You don't need this for elite combats or normal mob fights. You don't need to stack Sacred Hearts in Ultra Space. And second of all, And second of all, if you don't... Like, sin marks are more excusable if there's not a second phase to bleed you. Yeah. Kaleidoscope, it's a nice relic. It doesn't particularly... Like, it doesn't particularly contribute that much damage. But it's a damage relic. Dust Blood is kinda nice. It's just kinda nice in general. Basically, it lets you sit around and train a bit more, and not have to worry about your HP count. Silver Tongue, it's just very comfortable Abrus setup. Keyflare setup. And Solar Disc. The thing I mean, it's just a nice relic. You get to draw cards, you get Abrus, both of those Pollux Arachne could want. Wait, we'll go into the fight. As usual, Arachne is running her Sigs. Caster's the DR wheel plus. Anyway, this is a mob. I can't really go over their intents that well. Holy, summons a multi-dimensional enemy. You will see they have Chains of Resentment. And I have a really innovative solution to that. But yeah, just chill around for a bit. The thing is, with Caster Exalt, it doesn't matter too much. The only thing it's really letting you do is, it's letting you, like, if you have 2 Sacred Hearts, it can sometimes let you cycle better, but it doesn't matter too much. And it of course gives Sin Mark stats with Retain, if you have Pollux rounds. Anyway, you can see it no longer has chains, because I Erica Exalted. Now it has weakness and vulnerable. Annihilate, cleansing. I believe I needed to do that for the... Anyway, about the Pollux Exalt timing. The thing is, I figured it does more damage if you wait till 5 stacks. Until the first 5 stacks at least. I don't completely know the math on it, but yeah. It might differ if you have to if it cleanly deals with AoE and stuff, but that's too much math for me. You can see I used the normal cleansing. And you'll see these 2 are discounted. But I usually don't notice the cleansing discount. I just focus on Sacred Heart discount. But yeah. So basically that cleansing came back to me because it automatically does when you go into Ultra Turn. Then you play... and it's dead. But yeah, I was safe that turn, so I could have killed with Bleed. So I'm probably 500k HP overkill at least. It's a really good comp if you can set it up. And that was with the 2-turn setup. Of course, you know, I had the wheel, the Sora wheel. But the thing is, it didn't really matter too much. Just because, you know, I still had a massive amount of damage that turn. Of course, it's gonna be a lot less with Sora Wheel. This is Lemurians. Not that much to go over. So this is G Murphy. She applies a bunch of tentacles, and she also applies sacrifice to you. I'm talking about the enemy G Murphy, although I did apply a lot of sacrifice to myself. My standard for first turn is that I have to rouse G Murphy, and I just reset for something that lets me do that. Of course, there's some versions of this where you don't have to apply 500 sacrifice to yourself, but it's too hard to find that RNG. And you can also see I have 100% death resistance because I'm running 3 burial grounds. The thing about this comp, I mean, especially like wave 3 comps, you like the death resistance is a lot more broken than wave 3 in general, because you only have one fight, so you get a lot more immediate value. Whereas like, you know, Keyflare, you know, it is a stat, but Keyflare Gen, I mean, like you get more Keyflare if you enter more battles. It's hard to explain, but death resistance is broken because, you know, you're getting the resources immediately, and also not being dead. It's a really broken thing to have. Really broken assurance. Or a really... assurance or a gamble, it's broken. I just want to feed Golnet. The thing is, I'm scared that I might not be able to draw the Chosen on the 5th turn, so I'm just gonna rouse Golnet. Or feed Golnet aliens. This is a sus turn 5. So basically, here, I use the waltzes defensively for 2 reasons. So I can take less DRs. And number 2, I have rewinding time on G Murphy. So I'm hoping one of the waltzes comes back to me. But yeah, this is turn 6. I successfully won the 50-50 DR. So now I can go in. I have pressed the pause button. But yeah, I happened to draw the vulnerable card, which is really nice. I was not guaranteed. It was like a... it's like a 5/9 chance. But, you know, if you're looking for a good seed anyways, why not gamble on a 5? Why not gamble on 2 50/50s? It's the gacha game after all. Why not? I'm just making sure that it dies to sacrifice during phase 1, so I have to do less during this final phase. And you can see I barely met the threshold, so it was worth it. And you can see I drew the vulnerable card again. And that's what we just call a skilled player moment. So now it's up to me to basically right, I'm probably dead if this turn passes, so I have to do 100k damage. The other option is blocking 1600, but that's not happening. I float 1 Alienus, or 1 Arif. Toss you again. Toss 1 Arif. 3B comp. We take those. But yeah, it's really close. When Lemuria, Abyss Order. And you know, I was gonna have to test another DR if I didn't kill before pressing turn end. Because if you press turn end, the sacrifice up, like all the status debuffs on you tick first, I believe, before the tentacles. This is wave 4. This is a red Muchet, typical whale comp. One thing I will comment about this is I mean, of course, wow, your whole team gets 15 alien miss, and also this relic is also pretty broken, plus 20 alien miss. But yeah, it's just the turbocharged setup. You know, the thing is, for the first elite, I was bowling the elite battles with this comp. First elite, I took 0 damage. Like my card said remove. My card said heal 0 H, like the faded bone thing. It said heal 0 HP, and I still clicked it because I don't want to get +2 cards for no reason. This is our home. It's an okay relic. It's Keyflare support. It's a bit of strength, but it's not the biggest source of strength you'll ever see. This is True North Compass. I didn't really get any better relics, and this is okay on Machete. The thing is, it does overdraw a bit if you don't have hand space, just because of how Death Resistance draws 2 cards for you. But it does help a bit in lining combos up, so you can't really hate it. This is Easter Moment. Broken Relic. Let's just look at the damage charts. Oh, you want? Elite Battle 1. Turn 3, it's dead. Elite Battle 2. Don't worry about that one. But yeah, Machete. It does a lot of damage. And when you pair it with Aegis, Dice, and Hellet, it's just... And their wheels are even invested, so it's just... Yeah, you start with a very good first turn. I just already prepped. But yeah, you get to farm so many resources in the elite battles if you're able to control them very well, which I'm able to, because I'm a whale. And this is just... I don't know how much your DRs are worth. I can actually check, yeah. 5%. So I already killed about a bit less than half of their HP bar on turn 1. And I already have Muchet and Dice Exalt up. Like, we're already back. But I don't want to do anything because I had to rouse Dice. And that takes a lot of alienness. Exalt. It doesn't matter too much if you have follow-up damage. Well, at least on the Exalt. The OE is actually very important damage. But yeah, I just stunned. Number 1, they get stunned. Number 2, the back mobs get vulnerable. But yeah, you can see I have a bunch of Mucha cards. This is one thing. This is one small optimization you can kinda do. Mucha cards will do a bunch more damage because you have... That's where you build the crit damage. So if you play your Muchet cards first, there's a chance when you posse that it will come back to you. So that's, yeah. That does be how it works. And... yeah, I mean, now it's 2/3 dead. Oh no, it's gonna make me take a DR. I don't really wanna take this turn because I don't have Mortal in hand or Dice Exalt. Oh no, the Seafarer's giant wave is about to strike. I must deal critical damage to weaken it. It doesn't ever stop per se. So yeah, I'm just using Hellet's Exalt for the fetching mechanism. I use Exalt It's the only Devourer that really matters here, because presumably it's dying this turn. Otherwise someone else is dying. But yeah, it's Muchet. You should not be that scared. Unless your Muchet sucks, in which case I cannot help you with that. But yeah, this is just a typical Muchet gameplay. You can see I didn't even make it to the end of my combo, and I'm pretty sure I had enough damage. You should also feed Embryo there because it gives crit rate, and although you're usually at 100% crit rate, my April was deactivated, and also it has crit resistance. It doesn't matter though. You still have way too much damage. Okay, this one is a bit technical. First of all, my relics. I took a symptom to not heal for this. It's 100% worth it. This increases your Muchet damage by like 50% or whatever. Because I mean, the way you compare it is comparing the strength gain to the number on Muchet's Exalt. But yeah, this is a nice relic if you can proc it, which I am incentivized to proc because I have the claw. Fleeting Beauty, Key Flare, really good in Mono Chaos. You can see I didn't run Life Drain, but I probably would. I don't know, I like the R2. But the thing is, you kind of want Life Drain so you can actually second Posse sometimes. I get away with it because I have a bunch of Key Flare. And that's one way to solve it, but yeah. It's not very reliable to look for a Key Flare relic. Vitality Injection broken, Differential Engine. It depends on the turn, but it's also probably broken. There's not that. Oh, there's one thing. I went for the duplicate event because it's like a 30% chance of hitting Mortal Blast or Shining, which is good enough for me. I didn't hit it, so now I have another Lotan Strike. Don't worry too much about it. And of course this is really broken. I'll get a bit into the technicals. But yeah, this mob is very scary. This mob is very scary if you don't set it up in a normal way. But yeah, mucho Lotan OE. I don't really care that much about Bone on it because it's mostly for the fixed damage on Exalt. I am not tossing this turn because it's the weak Bone Posse, and I already have Vulnerable. Which is arguably the important stat. But yeah, I have 2-wheel SR, so this is an easy double Posse. So I'm just all-pairing Muchet so I can get her Exalt ready. I charge it up. I'm just making sure it phases. I'm not sure if you need to do this, but why not? Why not make the monkey phase? I don't know if OE damage into the phase works, but yeah. You can see I took a DR because of bleeding. And you can see, let's hover over this intent. So first of all, their turn 2 is gaining counter. So you wanna, if you're using Muchet, you would like to kill phase 1 before they gain the counter. Yeah. This is the start of their second phase. Gain Fortress and Strength. Subsequently gain Fortress every time you take damage. This is really bad for your overall Muchet damage. Like, there are some ways to bypass it, like Muchet Overexalt, which basically does a good amount more than a Shining per hit. But yeah, for the most part, you want to be able to avoid this if you can. This is just gonna be a little detriment to how much damage you can do. You can see I intentionally proc the R with that card there. The point basically being that I have too much DR, so I should just use it. I don't care too much about phoning a low time strike at this point, because I have so many resources. Double Posse on the good card, Lone Seed. And now we have 2 mortals going into next turn. But yeah, this is why DRing is fine. It gives resources, and no, it's 1 clean DR. Even if it wasn't a clean DR, you can sometimes do it if you want to gamble. And gambling is fun. And this turn plays itself. You can literally, there are so many things you can do, but it just matters that the big things is number 1, getting Machete OE with vulnerable with vulnerable ideally, which I do. You can look for a double posse. You probably don't need it. But yeah, you just fetch whatever. I think I might be getting OE too. But yeah, I proc Claw at this point. I Tawheel Posse because it's fun. I don't even know what I put down. But yeah, you can see I have a bunch more damage to go. A lot more damage. Because I'm pretty sure I'm... Yeah, I mean, the thing is, this did look ridiculously clean, but, and this is a big qualification, you want to stun the turn 2 rouse and kill before turn 2. Kill before it does its normal turn 2 intent. I mean phase 2 rouse. If you're running with chat at least. Other comps might not suffer that much from the fortress or counter, but yeah, you have to be really quick and timely with this. I would, like, if you're running with chat, I would suggest running this team for wave 4. The only thing is that I feel like I rely a lot on this. I feel like in this comp I rely a lot in having consistent setup into the mob fights so I can just farm infinite and get a bunch of good relics. That's just one thing about the comp. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now. That has been the dtide review. I hope it's been helpful. I hope that maybe hope you learn about some of the things in store this dtide or some of the comps I play. But that's gonna be it for now. Bye everyone.